What up, Tamers? I hope you're having a great day. Today, we're taking a closer look at Noxolotl, the toxic Temtem. I'm gonna tell you everything you need to know on how to TV train it, what's the best gear to equip, the best trait, and what techniques are best for competitive battles. So make sure you watch the end of the video. But before we dive into it, if you're new to the channel, subscribe, I'll really appreciate it. So, the first thing you should know about Noxolotl is that it's a toxic Temtem, which makes it weak to wind, but resistant to water, nature, and toxic. So, when it comes to its overall base stats and how to properly TV train it, first on its base stats, it has great HP, a low stamina, a decent speed and attack stat, but great defense and special attack, but low special defense. In regards to TV training for this Temtem, players tend to spread it among 3 stats. They are HP, special attack, and special defense. Here are the numbers for TV training for Noxolotl: 300 for HP, 340 for special attack, and 360 for special defense. When it comes to gear, the best one for Noxolotl that most players use is Pillow, because the Pillow gear takes advantage of the trait and the techniques. The Pillow gear restores 10% max HP of its holder, in this case Noxolotl, at the start of the turn if it has the asleep condition. When it comes to traits, Noxolotl can learn either Trance or Toxic Skin. The one that players tend to use the most is Trance. So the effect of the Trance trait is that once per battle, if Noxolotl is attacked and the HP is below 30%, it gets the asleep condition for 2 turns and the regenerated condition for 3 turns, and its special attack and special defense is increased by 2 stages. And this is regardless of the technique that did damage to Noxolotl, but the Trance trait can only be triggered once per battle. And what I like about this trait is that it takes advantage of the techniques that Noxolotl can learn. So now moving on to the techniques that Noxolotl can learn. These techniques are the ones players tend to use the most for competitive battles. So the first thing you want to do before you start leveling up your Temtem is to breed it so you can learn the egg move called Noxolotl Hit. Noxolotl Hit is a mental physical attack that does 150 damage to a single target and inflicts the user with the asleep condition for 2 turns, which is a great technique because it takes advantage of the effect of the Pillow gear. The next technique, Madness Buff, a technique Noxolotl can learn through a technique course. Madness Buff is a status condition that causes the user Noxolotl to lose 30% of its total HP, but increases its special defense and special attack by 2 stages, which in fact takes advantage of Noxolotl special attack and special defense stat, and which is the reason why you want to focus the TV training on those 2 particular stats. And on top of that, you can take advantage of the Trance trait with this technique. From there, teach Noxolotl the hallucination technique. It is a status condition that inflicts the target with the exhaust condition and the trap condition for 2 turns. But it also has a synergy effect. If you team up Noxolotl with a mental ally, the hallucination technique will deal special damage, 50 base damage. And for the last technique, it's really up to you. I've seen players use a few different techniques, but the one that's most common is Hypnosis. It's a status condition that inflicts a single target with the asleep condition for 2 turns. And these 2 other techniques that I want to mention, I've seen other players use them as well, and they tend to replace it with the hallucination and the hypnosis technique. These 2 techniques are Acid Reflux and Toxic Technique. Acid Reflux is a toxic special attack that does 80 damage to the opposing team and inflicts the poison condition for 2 turns. And Toxic Ink is a toxic physical attack that does 80 damage to a single target and inflicts the poison condition for 2 turns. So there you have it, Tamers, a breakdown of Noxolotl. It's a pretty cool Temtem. Do use these techniques in combination with the trait and gear. You can't go wrong. Well, thank you for watching. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, like the video, I'll really appreciate it, and check out my Temtem playlist for more videos. Peace out.